College Republicans of Central Michigan University are apologizing after they handed out an anti-Semitic Valentines to students. Now, the card read, "My love for you burns like 6,000 Jews," accompanied by a lovely picture of Hitler, because nothing says love, apparently, like the Holocaust. Now, the group issued an apology, explaining that it was one rogue member who made the card and slipped it into the bags that they were handed out. So they issued this long apology on the university's website, but then they put in this little qualifier here, and they said, "Such hurtful, offensive language, while protected by the First Amendment, is unacceptable and is not consistent with our values and standards." So at first I was like, all right, I'm with you. Like, one pricks, thought that he was being funny and didn't understand that he was being extremely offensive and anti-Semitic and slipped it into one of the bags. A student got it and called Outrage, right? So they issue the apology, fine. But then to be like, oh, by the way, like, even though we were really offensive, it's protected by the First Amendment. That's the part that, like, I was like, all right, come on. Like, just, like, give your apology and move on.
Yeah, there's, I don't think there's a move on. There's nothing. I mean, again, it's, you know, Kellyanne Conway did comedy a few years ago.
Oh, I saw that video.
It was brutal.
Terrible.
And then, and Tommy Lauren, the Blaze or whatever, that program, the Haze. Literally, what's it called?
The Blaze.
It is the Blaze.
Yeah.
The Glenn Beck thing that she's on. They're doing the Academy Awards for, like, you know, for wusses, like, you know, for snowflake. It's called the Snowflake Awards, you know, and they're like most pathetic. And Patton Oswalt tweeted today how, like, she's like, they're all so desperate to be comedians. They all think they can do it. They all think they're funny, and it's always brutal. And this is what happens when these guys think they. First of all, it's 6 million.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, if you're going to be anti-Semitic, at least be accurate about it.
Yeah. Compared to how many Jews did die, that's actually not that intense a love.
That's right. My love for you, so I don't love you. That's what they're saying.
I love you.
Valentine's Day.
It's fizzled.
And I got it. It's just not. And again, I would just point out that the basis of your joke were children who burned to death. That's what makes your joke funny.
But it's like, the dynamic isn't set up right, because it's like the people on top being, like, happy about being on top. Like, that's not a good dynamic.
Like, you don't punch. You
punch down.
But
even
that's still,
doing.
like, Ben, you make a really good point, right? Because they're always saying you guys are getting so offended and we're regressive because we're saying it's anti-Semitic or whatever it is. But you're right. Like, that is the very core of this.
This is regressive to say this is anti-Semitic?
This is the very core of the joke, is that, like, they're making fun of kids who burn to death.
So,
gassed and then burned.
Yeah, and I'll say this because I went to Israel last year and I went to the museum, and I feel out, because I think until we all start feeling outraged for each other, we're not going to ever move ahead as a human race. But when I walked through that museum where they call out the names of the children who died in the Holocaust, and some of them they have pictures of and some of them they don't. All you do is sit in this dark place where there's stars up there. If you think that shit is funny, there's something seriously wrong with you. And just to think that somebody thought that was cute and that was funny, somebody that's receiving a post-secondary education, we're about to send this motherfucker out into the world.
Yeah, that's going to look for a job.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He'll find one. He'll find one from some shithead.
Yeah, and by the way, the First Amendment does not protect that speech. I mean, the First Amendment protects you from being arrested for that speech. And
but this is hate speech.
And you should, but he shouldn't be arrested. No, the guy does not belong in jail for saying that. But the school can throw him out. That's not what free speech is. Free speech protects the government from literally prosecuting you or fining you for your speech.
I'm utterly offended that he didn't capitalize the J in Jews.
Yeah, totally. That's
what jerk. Now that I see that, I'm outraged.
A college student. So no, it's not funny. That, we talk about sacred cows, and I'm a stand-up comedian where people think that it is cool to talk about anything. And I had an argument with a white comedian who used the N-word and the K-word and thought, he was like, well, if the joke is funny, the joke is funny. I don't think there is anything funny about slavery or the Holocaust. That's my personal opinion, and I walk away from it when I hear it. If you want to make a good joke about burning children, and you think that's a good joke, and then hey, more power to you.
Well, there's a joke. I mean, is there not? There's a joke that could end with a punchline that involves the Holocaust, but it has to be making fun of the perpetrators of the Holocaust.
But not the victims. That's what I'm talking about.
But just like the whole snowflake argument, like, this doesn't keep me up at night. This person's a stinky chunk of farts, and I don't really care. No. Like, I think he and his buddies, you know, before they do that joke, they look around.
Right,
and
totally.
they sneak it in like a little gift bag, and that's slowly eating away at the fiber of
Well,
society.
let's not be
of course.
sexist, because this could be a
I know.
girl.
I did that a couple times. I'm like, I guess
It could be a chick.
Yeah.
I just think that
We know that's a
that
Well, it's
person.
funny if it's a girl, though.
Yeah, then it becomes a little hot. Jesus.
There's a post-game to every Young Turks show. You can get that by being a member. tytnetwork.com/join.